What's going on? I wanted to take time real quickly. I just got word about Brother Little Richard. Rest in power to the originator, the emancipator, the proclamator, one of the forefathers of rock and roll. Way more of a king of rock and roll than Elvis. And I'll say that straight up. Little Richard never got his due. White artists like Pat Boone and others did all kinds of covers of his music, but he never got his due. That brother said what he said, did what he did, was flamboyant, risky, gender bending, etc. Did everything that you see now under the sun and then some. A who's who of music was inspired by this brother. One of those kind of people that, you sat there and you were like in awe because he was really just truly doing what he did. He was more than Tutti Frutti, he was more than Long Tall Miss Sally. I mean, when you listen to his music, you're talking about gospel meets pop meets R&B. Just like along the lines of what James Brown, who was an alum, was a protege of Little Richard's, by the way. And then later, like a Ray Charles and him, the blending of musicality. Because when you listen to Little Richard's music, you couldn't put it in a box. It represented everything. It was like one of them things where his music spoke the sexuality, the spirituality, and everything in between. He had white girls screaming and going crazy in a time when that was taboo. Remember, this during Jim Crow era, and a black man rocking and rolling and doing what he was doing and had everybody going wop, bop, bloop, bop, bap, bam, boom. Think about it. Code words. Black male sexuality, which was scary anytime USA. But for him to be that bold in the 50s, he was more hip-hop than any hip-hop artist you could think of, then or now. And he was serious about his songwriting. It was a trip because when he died, he didn't die, but Michael Jackson gave him back his catalog. Because a lot of people don't know that the powers that be took it. You had somebody like Pat Boone who did a cheap, pale, white Sherwin-Williams paint job of his music and got royalties crazy. Little Richard got paid pennies on the dollars. Every time he would tell it on the Grammys or some award show, they thought he was playing when he said, shut up. But he was telling them they never gave him nothing, which they didn't. Not the kind of riches that he should have been afforded and acclaimed for someone who pioneered a style of music and from a stylistic perspective as an artist and what he represented should have gotten way more love. So, it's one of those kind of situations where you want to remember greatness, impact, and depth. And this cat was one of the kings of music and also one of those kind of people that told it like it was and didn't sugarcoat. And you'll be very informative to read about his story and listen to what he got to say. Because he wasn't one, he went through different changes musically and spiritually and psychologically, but he left a lasting impact. And I want to take the time to remember the greatness of Little Richard Petterman, and what he meant. I want to send prayers and thoughts out to his family, his friends, fans worldwide, because his music changed an entire way of how you heard and how you saw things. He was really something. He was a video before there was a video. He was must see. And he was very theatrical and very entertaining, but also he was a down-to-earth cat. So rest in peace, Little Richard. Please share your thoughts and your likes about Little Richard. Let's reflect on his life, his career. Hit the like and subscribe when the bell rings in the video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another. And don't let anyone whitewash you or tell you otherwise about this music or anything, because a black man was one of the true kings of rock and roll. Little Richard, like a Chuck Berry, like a Bo Diddley, like about James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding. Go back, do some research. Don't let them whitewash it, because they have a tendency to whitewash the facts. All right, I'm out. Peace.